Good morning, everybody, and this is your DAX day trade setups for today. I just want to pop across the weekly just to start, and you can see we've been sort of continuing this weekly trend line. I think that's fairly sort of well established at the moment. So that's the weekly downtrend line for the year. No diversions or anything, but been a negative year at the moment. So if you think of where we are at the moment, we are down 12% on the year. So that's a fairly big move to the downside. And at the moment, we are coming up to a level, on the weekly anyway, where there is support. So you can see previous swing high, previous area of support. We found support last year there, and now we are back to the 155 EMA. But at the same time, this is sort of the high. Well, not quite the high, because we did get this monthly high. So I just want to take that one as well. So what I'm looking at here is this little zone that I've put in. We'll look at the lower time frame. That is the high of 2020. So you can see 2020, we kind of closed flat after a massive move down, and all the gains of 2021 have been erased, and we're now back in that zone. So pay very close attention to that area. You're not really going to just fly through that to the downside. And you can see a lot of support in this area. So very similar to the S&P. Is this the start of the range for the year? So what I'm anticipating is that we sort of find a base somewhere, and then we just range while the central bank starts sorting their nonsense out, politicians sort their nonsense out, and the market sort of just treads water. That's kind of what I'm anticipating. And if you look at the 8 hour, we are definitely in a zone that we need to be paying attention to. It is a yearly high right there, 13,950. And then just below it, there is a bit of, well, not a bit, there's quite a lot of support at 13,822. So this is an area where I would expect buyers to come in. I don't expect buyers to, I don't expect the sellers to gain control just yet in this area. So if we start drilling down through the time frames, look at the 3 hour oscillators, you can see we are grouping to the downside. Not there yet, but we're getting there pretty quickly. We've had an exhaustion bar already this morning, down to the bottom, and it's been a fairly significant move. It's around a 1% move down on the futures market. And this is just Asia. Really, Asia just feeding off what happened on Friday. So we had a pretty big sell-off on Friday. A big earnings week today. Well, not today, but this week, should I say. So a number of the large cap stocks are actually have their earnings today. So expect a volatile week. But the question is, this is an area which looks like we should be looking for support. And look at the oscillators here, all grouped together on the hour. Right at the bottom of what I'm anticipating being bottom of range. So this zone is really something that I'm paying attention to at the moment. It is only 120 points, so it's a fairly decent setup, in my opinion anyway, for looking for a long at the bottom here with a stop below this range, and what you're looking for is a move to the top of the range again. And the top of the range is up at 14,556. So that's kind of the structure that I can see at the moment. If we look at the 15 minute, if we just anticipate what happened on Friday, well, not anticipate, but just let's call it hindsight science. So when we did the video, we were kind of hovering on this area. That was, look at that, engulfing bar, inside bar, off the 155. So for all intents purposes, we should have been looking for a retest of that break. So we've got a break, there's a retest. That was the opportunity to short this. So yeah, looking at the 15 minute at the moment, nothing really going on just yet. But I think when Europe opens, this zone that we're in is going to be eyed. And not with suspicion, is going to be eyed with an opportunity to start moving back, to start tagging these levels. So back up to 14,300 and then 14,550 area. And then we do have that big trend line as well, which would offer some support. And I suppose what we should actually do is just delete that, and then let's just get it, let's draw it in on the 8 hour, because you can see there's a lot more structure here on the 8 hour. So draw it like just do it like that. Okay, so we do have tails piercing it, but anyway, that's kind of my view. It's not cast in sand. This could actually just turn out to be a continuation down. If we do break through the zone that I've highlighted, then we definitely have more downside, and then I would suspect we're going to start looking to tag some of these gaps to the downside. Anyway, my play today is really a range play, a big range play in actual fact. So it's not a 1 hour or 15-minute range play, but we're looking at this area, and my ultimate stop area is going to be below 13,822. So well worth the risk as far as I'm concerned. You probably get away with between a 60 and 100 point stop loss for a move back up. And if you think of it that way, you're probably looking at least a 400 point trade. So a 4-to-1 trade, which is a fairly decent risk to reward. Anyway, that's enough for me today. Hope it helps, and we'll catch up with you tomorrow morning. Cheers for now.